5G is the capstone of this entire agenda, because this entire agenda, what they're trying to bring in is Internet of Things. We're going to start with Internet of Things. That's why they're getting people to be addicted to their smart gadgets. They're getting people addicted to their smart gadgets. And then once you get addicted to it, then it's going to be easy for them to introduce the Internet of Bodies. And guess what? In order for the Internet of Bodies to work, you need two things. The first one, the infrastructure. That's the 5G. At the minimum, they need a 5G as a minimum infrastructure in order to make that happen. The second part of that, Internet of Bodies, is the vaccine, because you need a microchip in order to transform people into cyborgs so that you can interact with materials. That's why they call that the Internet of Things. And it doesn't stop again with Internet of Things, where you can talk to your appliances can talk to each other. They want to make you to be able to talk to your appliance. That's where Internet of Bodies would come in.
Jeez.
And at the minimum, they need the 5G technology in order to make that happen. And it doesn't stop at 5G, because you're going to get beyond 5G, you're going to get into 6G, the terahertz wave, so on and so forth.
Wow. Human life as we know it, you could say bye-bye if this plans.
The reason why people think that there's not much radiation is because the moment that you continue to limit your perception, your sense of perception onto the 5 senses, then all of these things, they won't make any sense to you. But once you start to think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration, because we are all frequency beings, then all of these things, they start to make sense.
Yeah, of course. And the powers not to be.
Your CIA cover story that you can download movies. No, why do you need movies? Are you so emotionally bankrupt that you have to constantly entertain yourself with pedo Hollywood movies?
No!
I'd rather have a face-to-face conversation with another human being.
Yes.
Get out and speak to your neighbors.
Beautiful.
Your family, starting with your family, and then go out and speak to your neighbors. We're meant to be human beings. We're not cyborgs.
That's right. Beautiful.
So 5G, 6G, remember that. That's another front that they're going to attack us with.
They're already doing it.
I do have an acoustimeter with me, and everywhere I go, I measure the radiation.
Wow.
We're being cooked right now.
Wow.
And it's going to get worse. Why? Because they're trying to terraform the earth.
Yeah, they are already doing it.
To what? These are satanic worshippers.
That's right, they are. People need
These
to
are
educate
satanic
themselves.
worshippers, and they're terraforming the earth.
Yeah.
And who's the inhabitant of the earth right now?
We are.
So what does that mean if they're trying to terraform?
They want
Who's the
to.
inhabitant right now?
Us.
So if you can't make that connection, then you seriously have some thinking to do. Take back your humanity.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
So what can we do about this? Fight, but how do we fight? We fight with honor. How do we do that? I'm sure I've talked to many people in this circle, and people have talked to me and asked me, Will, are you part of the Empower movement? I said, no, I'm not part of the Empower movement. However, back in April, I discovered a California-based citizens journalist. Her name is Lena Pooh. She fashioned herself as a 5G expert. So I decided to take a look at what she had to say in a 13-minute video. Some of you guys have received my letter.
No.
And that's one of the first video that I posted, that I shared with everyone, that you can see in that letter. Now, I was intrigued by what she had to say. In fact, I was so intrigued enough that I went on further and found that she actually did a lecture back in September in the Silicon Valley Health Institute.
No.
And in that lecture, she showed a blood study. She mentioned that she did a blood study, and she shared her findings. And what is her findings? Basically that blood study involves taking the blood sample of a teacher, of a very, very healthy teacher. And because of the issue of Wi-Fi in schools, after she did that blood study, she found out the blood coagulated.
Wow.
The blood of the teacher coagulated after exposure to Wi-Fi in school.
Wow. Jeez.
No, she did that. I don't know what is the, I don't know how long she took, but basically she did that blood study. And after witnessing the results of that blood study, I was convinced that this ain't about just 5G. In fact, the danger lurks in your home. So one of the things that you can do right away when you get back to your homes, make sure that when you go to sleep at night, shut down your Wi-Fi. Don't sleep with your Wi-Fi on. You don't need that Wi-Fi. And don't even bother carrying your cell phones onto your bed. The bedroom are only for two things. I won't speak about the other thing, but the other one is for sleeping. And you need to get your restful sleep. Okay, so shut down your Wi-Fi, and I'll even go further by saying that if you can avoid using the Wi-Fi, get wired.
Yeah.
Try to get wired. Those Wi-Fi, those are danger that's lurking in your home. And most people are not educated about that. So when you get that opportunity, look up Lena Poo, and then go watch her lecture. It's also on my Bitchute channel, so you can go find me on Bitchute.
What?
It's called The Deceived Renegade. We're all deceived.
Okay.
And we gotta be a renegade.
Yeah.
We're all renegades.
The Deceived Renegade on Bitchute.
Go look up her lecture. Go look up her lecture.
Some truck drove by and honked at us.
And,
That's nice.
you can see for yourself the blood study.
The Deceived
And then
Renegade.
that should be enough for you to take action. And then the other action that we can do is going back to the Empower movement. No, I'm not with the Empower movement, but Lena was. But she has disassociated herself from the Empower movement. And what she did, with all the knowledge that she has gained on the notice of liability, is that she wrote her own notice of liability. In fact, I was so impressed by the work that she had done that I subscribed to her work and I actually read that notice of liability. I studied that notice of liability, and I'm convinced that it is a very, very powerful tool in order for us, we the people, to really take action,
To free ourselves.
all within our cities. So I encourage you, if you have not seen those videos, I encourage you to look it up, study it, and then some of you have my email address. Feel free to connect with me, and then I can share with you what I know. But you got to be able to do the work, because this ain't about, if you want to stand up and fight, we cannot subscribe to the paradigm of the external savior program.
That's right.
Somebody
That's
save
right.
us. No, the
That's
power
right.
has always been within you.
That's right.
So
We
we
are
all
the
need to take
saviors.
action. So you need to not just watch those videos. Not just watch those videos. You gotta take action. You gotta do your part.
Sorry to hear.
Because this won't work. Because once you have that knowledge is not enough. David Icke said this. Knowledge is not power, but the use of it is. And I really believe when he said that. That's why I decided I'm going to come here. I'm going to speak to people about this.
Thank
so that we all
you.
can take
Thank
action.
you. Thank you.
That's Will, everybody, and he's here. And if you have any questions in regards to 5G, feel free to come on up to Will. So I'm just going to run over a few things that everybody needs to be aware of when it comes to this government. One, our Deputy Prime Minister is the granddaughter of Adolf Hitler's propaganda arm.
What?
Let me repeat that. Our Deputy Prime Minister
Who's that?
is the granddaughter of the man who owned the entire media company that Hitler himself used
Chrystia Freeland.
to propagate his people.
She needs to go.
Number two, our Minister of National Defense lied on his resume and lied to foreign media about his service in the Canadian military. He lied. Now, lying about your service in the Canadian military is more of a disrespect, not so much a crime. But when you are the Minister of National Defense, that's called public perjury, and it carries a 10-year sentence. Why does this man still have a job? Bill Moneybags Morneau. He is the Federal Finance Minister for Canada. He's been in the news recently, as his daughter is also, a part of the whole WE scandal. Everybody's getting paid by our tax dollars to party. He also invested in the Wuhan lab 13 years ago, in 2013. He also owns Canada Pensions. Think about that.
Aww.
He stands to
Thanks,
profit
Frank.
off every senior citizen who dies and does not have a family member to retrieve their pension. He stands to profit.
Wow. What? That is
We
crazy.
have our ex-minister of immigration, Mr. Hussein, should have been setting a precedent for Muslim Canadians. Instead, he used his position to try and offer a lawful excuse for the practice of female genital mutilation to come to Canada. And you can watch Michelle Rempel take him to task in the House of Commons on YouTube and see it with your own eyes.
Ooh.
This is Canada. We have a duty to protect one another because we're supposed to be leading this world in democracy.
My pleasure, Tom.
The problem is so many people have such a misunderstanding of what that means.
I got here super late, unfortunately.
This is not a racist country.
But other people
Not one
are
person in this
live-streaming.
entire group of people can tell me that they actually know a racist person.
That's right.
We have policies. We have policies, absolutely, that need reform. But every single institution of our entire government infrastructure needs absolute reform.
Nice one. Yep.
That house is supposed to serve us. Not mandate stuff to us. Not dictate to us. Not tell our children they can't go to school.
Disgusting.
This is a war on democracy,
Sorry,
and I'll
I
tell you
haven't
why. Because it's a war on our small businesses. The second you clear out small businesses is the second you erase democracy. Small businesses are everything. That's what keeps the people in power. That's what gives anybody who doesn't have the opportunity to have. There's not one person in this country as it stands right now that cannot get or become whatever it is they dream with a little bit of work. Not one.
Amazing.
But with their
Look what this brother
imposing
created.
restrictions being accepted by so many people, that's changing, and it's
Bumper
changing
sticker.
quickly. And we need to put a stop to it, and we need to do it right
I
now.
put it on my window.
Okay, awesome. I love it.
And you should see on the back, it says Scamdemic.
I am so proud of our team,
You rock.
of all of you, of everybody who comes out
You
here
rock.
week after week, fighting day after day, who takes the time and puts the effort every single day. Use social media. They're trying to censor social media, and this is why. Because we have learned how to use it to our own advantage, and it's working.
Yep.
It is working.
Yep.
Next Thursday, we hope to see a bunch of you guys join us. We're going to be in Barrie, Ontario.
Thank you, brother.
We're going to be having another one of these beautiful celebrations, but we're going to be speaking out and protesting against the insane amount of human and child trafficking that has happened across Canada. We are going to be speaking on behalf of all the thousands, the double-digit thousands of Indigenous women and children who have been ignored by RCMP, by our government since 1986, that have been found on the side of the road and completely ignored. We're going to have natives join us
And Twitter?
and speak with
Is
us.
your Twitter
And we're going to
on there?
stand as one nation against all of this tyranny together.
Amazing. Thank you for speaking out against this. Thank you so much.
They've crossed the line. And who draws that line? Who draws that line?
We do! We do!
With that, I'm going to invite up Vlad Sobolev.
Woo!
Happy Saturday, beautiful people! Okay, again, guys, we gotta learn this. Barefoot on the grass. Just be mindful where you step, but come on, get some earthing going on. Some grounding, you need that to boost your health, to boost your immune system. Guess what? You don't hear this from so-called health experts. You get zero advice from the health experts. But come on, they tell you wear your mask and keep a distance in. How healthy can you get from two of those things? They spent $120 million for the advertising campaign to tell you to wash your hands, to wear your mask,
Oh my God.
and keep distancing. I'll repeat, $120 million. You know what they should have done instead? And it would have actually worked? Tell people to eat 6 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. That's called the health advice. And guess what? If they would have spent $120 million on that campaign, we would have a healthier nation. Yes or yes?
Yes!
Like, come on. It's ridiculous. So, anyway. So, we have some new signs.
Good for you. Thanks for
You know? Love over fear. Yes.
Yes, I love
And we
it.
have some other signs.
facts over here.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
I touched on this a little bit last week.
ask when they're speaking.
The point of what we're trying to do to the nation, to the world, and let's talk about Canada specifically. The fear propaganda and brainwashing that we've been doing was so premeditated.
Vladislav Sobolev speaking, guys.
And again, I know it's difficult for a lot of people, definitely not the ones who are here, who have been here for the last 3 months, but I understand it's difficult for the public. So let me maybe address the public a little bit, because these videos get shared a lot of times, and I'm grateful for everyone sharing videos, right?
Yes.
It's difficult to think that your government had premeditated actions. They actually acted in bad faith. It is difficult, I get it. And if I can only help you maybe get you that perspective, and I talked about this last week again, it's not that people are not intelligent, they just don't have a perspective, they don't have that experience. They never lived in a country in the world where the government actually was killing its own citizens.
But we have.
And again, actually it did happen in Canada too. We have many instances of that, but it was hidden, all right? In other places in the world, it's wide open. People talk about it, that people are disappearing from speaking against the government.
That's right.
People get killed on the streets in broad daylight because they're speaking against the government. Here, it's not been that much. So that's why mostly immigrants are here. So,
because we've been
again, I can
in
understand that
like
you possibly thought that the government acted in good faith in the first 2 weeks of this whole pandemic. You know, again, in March, these models were presented to the government, and they said that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to die if we don't lock everything down. Right?
She's asking
And
me
that's
if I want to.
possibly
I
could
don't
have
really have anything
happened.
new to
However,
share.
again, 2 months later, 3 months later, now we're going into the 4th month, we can see the real data. We can see the real data. We don't need to use any more fake models, which we're still using, by the way. We're still talking about hypothetical cases. Like, why? We have real data now. We have scientists from Sick Kids Toronto Hospital talking specifically. Children are not at risk. We have real data. 0 children died below 19 years old. 0. I'm not even going to mention the one girl, rest her in peace, like they just drug her into that. You know, she died from cancer, and then they marked her as a COVID. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, the point is, what I'm trying to say is, people need to understand the real data. In the same report from Sick Kids Hospital, they say the kids are not super spreaders. It literally says in the report, children are not super spreaders as was predicted, comparable to the flu. It says in the report. Why the playgrounds are still closed? Why children has to wear masks? Now, again, to show you the hypocrisy and complete craziness how they're trying to do, did you know that in Quebec, children under 12 exempt from wearing the masks? And in Ontario, it's under 2. What science is that?
Bullshit.
Like, come on. What are you doing here? Right? So, anyway, so when I'm talking about the fear, they brainwash the people, and again, we need to understand that at this point, the signs are written on the wall. It's been 3 months later, it's been 4 months later, the signs on the wall, the government did not act in good faith. And you know how we know it even now? What happened this week? Over there. What happened this week over there? They passed a bill.
Boo!
Which bill? 195.
Boo!
Bill 195, and by the way, there was a Bill 197, nobody even talked about it.
Wow.
But Bill 195, Randy Healer made a speech in legislature, and he literally made this phrase, like this is word for word what he said. Bill 195 is the death of democracy. He said that in a legislation of Ontario, and other politicians voted him, and then they voted for that anyway. And there was only one other MPP from the 4th caucus that voted against it, and guess what happened? She got voted out.
Disgusting.
Now, I have some inside information that was shared with me, and I'll share it with you as well, guys.
Oh, nice.
When our premier went into power, instead of having meetings with caucus and actually discussing the bills, and having a discussion, you know, are we going to vote for them, yes or no? What are the benefits? What are the things that we need to consider? Guess what happened under his leadership? You have a meeting on Wednesday. He has a slideshow. These are the bills that are going to be tabled, and this is how we're going to all vote on them. He tells his MPPs, you have to vote on these bills this way. And this next slide is how you justified voting for those bills to your constituents.
Disgusting.
He tells them how to vote.
Wow. Wow. Disgusting.
It's madness what's going on here. So again, you know why they passed that? Same thing Randy Hiller said. Why are you passing this bill? You have a majority anyway. Why are you trying to pass this bill? You don't need it. You already have a majority in this government. At least have some type of discussion and debate and oversight.
It's a tyranny.
They passed it, so there would be zero oversight. We don't even have to come together anymore to vote for the extension of the emergency order. They basically gave themselves unlimited power till the next election.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
So
Boo.
how is that acting in good faith? I said this before. They trying to shame us. They try to say that we don't have integrity. You know how we know they don't have integrity? It's then you vote down to have any type of oversight in this government. They literally voted down to have any type of accountability and oversight in this government. It's total madness and ridiculous. And this is the democratic country we all live in. We all came in. I came here 21 years ago next month.
Yeah.
I've been living in Toronto for 21 years in August. It's ridiculous what happened even in the last 10. It's total madness and we need to rise up. So what I'm going to tie this into is we need to build numbers, guys. It's imperative that every single one of you becomes active at the next level.
Yeah.
We can't play around anymore. Enough is enough.
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 The reason why we have children now speaking, and I can't even call them children anymore because our children need to grow up now, fast. They have to. So I grew up in Soviet Union. I grew up in Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan, there was racial tensions even back then, in 91 and 1993. My parents separated when I was 11 years old. I have a younger brother, we're 7 years apart, so I was 11, he was 4, and my mom took care of us. My mom takes me to the bedroom, and she says, this is the closet, and this is the shotgun. And on this shelf, there are bullets.
Wow.
If someone comes into the door in the middle of the night, you need to know where that is.
Wow. 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 Wow.
I am humbled by the spirits of these children because they are warriors.
Yeah.
They have to be called warriors because that's what we need in this nation. We need warriors unite and need warriors to rise. This is not a drill, guys. I'm sorry, it's not.
It's not a dress rehearsal.
I wish it was. I wish I was
Yeah.
wrong. I really wish I was wrong. I'm not. Like this, it's written on the wall. Like you can't even try to think it's not anymore. It's there. And again, we're here not even for ourselves. We'll manage our life somehow. But what kind of future we're gonna have for our children in this country? And yes, this is spiritual war above all. So yes, we have to stay positive. And we have to have faith, 100%. And we have to have belief, 100%.
We are on the right
Humanity will
side.
prevail.
Yes, yes.
Humanity will prevail.
Yes, yes, yes.
Humanity will prevail.
Yes.
The assault on humanity, is multidimensional, and we have to be smart about it. We have to have the same approach. That's why we have the protest, we have the marches, but the other initiative that we heavily pushing and working overtime. What is this? Golaka, yeah, this is great. I'll talk about it in a second. Thank you. The history is there, guys. I said this before. The reason why they try to raise the history, so people want to have a perspective. This book is about Soviet Russia. What happened? That people were sent to gulags for free thinking, for fighting the oppression, for fighting for freedom, for future for the children. I said this before, last weekend and before even. You cannot renew your Canadian passport right now. You
What?
cannot.
Wow.
You try to, they will tell you, I'm sorry, we don't renew your passports.
Wow.
So you cannot leave this country even if you want to.
Wow.
Don't worry about whatever masks, whatever else they ask you to do
Wow.
at the airport. You can't. I have people messaging me. I have tickets booked with my children trying to escape right now. What's happening here?
Yeah.
I cannot renew a passport for my child.
Wow. Wow.
You know where else that happened? In Soviet Union.
Wow.
Most people never left Soviet Union because we have two passports. We had one internal passport and we had international passport. And there was not even a process to apply for one. So nobody ever left.
Unless they left illegally.
It was unheard of for someone leaving Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And now,
same with communist Romania. You had to escape. Yeah.
Like the parallels are out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colin.
No,
So
same
what
thing
we're
in the
doing
US.
now,
You can leave. They
we're
can bring your
building
passports.
outreach teams, and we're building festivals of life. Festival of life is what we have going on besides the protest, march, and the speeches. We want to just for people to come together, for families to come together, for kids to play, to build those relationships, to build those connections, because we know what's going on. The general public out there, unfortunately, been hypnotized. Their critical thinking is not there, so we have to be mindful of that. So now what
But
we're
more and
focusing
more
this
are waking
week,
up.
We have 6 locations across the Canada.
Woo! Yes.
you.
Yes.
And we're focusing on having at least 20 by the next weekend. And we call it festivals of life. So when people invite them, we don't invite them to the protest. We don't even invite them to the rally. We just say this is a gathering of like-minded, awake individuals. Why don't you come and we'll build this connection, we'll build this relationship, we'll build this support network. Because what we see right now happening is not even the security guards or the employees of the stores give people the hard time. It's the other people. So we need to build those support teams that at this day and age, unfortunately, you can't even go to the store alone. Like myself and Colin can go. I dare anyone give us the hard time. However, the vulnerable people, the elderly, the disabled people, those are the people that are getting assaulted for not having a mask on.
Wow.
I wish I was there every single time. We have a beat near Niagara with 3 grandchildren. She wanted to pass through the gate. We shared on our group a video, guys. Check it out. 2 pompous guys, man. I wish I was there. Like, seriously, God help me. They're like, no, you cannot pass. He's literally letting everybody pass but her.
What?
Because I think they had some type of conversation the day before. Like, this is what's happening. They're trying to intimidate the people that cannot stand up for themselves. So what we're doing with the outreach teams, even besides the event, we need to unite. We need to build those support teams. It's essential that now, more than ever, we build the numbers. So that's the mindset for the Festival of Life, so we can at least invite people, because people are scared. Not everyone wants to come to the protest,
Samantha.
but everyone wants to come to the party. And that's what we're promoting. We're promoting the party, the Festival of Life. Mask-free zone, hugs encouraged.
Yes!
Potluck food, music, and kids' activities.
Yes!
Those are the 5 things that we focus on. And let us
Yes.
build the numbers first. And this is how I look at it, and this is why I say this is so imperative and urgent. This is how I look at this whole thing. We have 8 weeks, or better to say we have 8 Sundays, because most of the events are on Sundays. We have 8 Sundays to build this movement. You know why? Because that will take us to the end of September. And we all know the next stage, whatever we're going to try to do is going to be there. And we need to build the movement by then. So myself, Colin, and a lot of volunteers, and I'm so grateful for everyone contributing, and if you want to help, by the way, I apologize. A lot of people filled out a volunteer form and they get mad at me. How come you didn't reach out to me that you want help and I ask you for help? But we're just overwhelmed, guys. I just do my best. I work on like 3 devices at once. So, and you have to, because there's so much going on. So if you try to help volunteer and we didn't get back to you, please come to me right now, like after I speak, and we'll get your phone number, we'll figure out how you can help us. But this is our goal.
Okay.
Is in the next 8 weeks, to have at least 100 locations across this country, with at least 100 people in each location. Because guess what? That will give us 10,000 people. And that's the movement. That's the movement that we're going to have. The last thing I'm going to say, we are so privileged and fortunate to team up with Dr. Tenpenny. She's one of the best activists out of the States.
Yes!
She's so well-versed, so well-educated. She's an actual doctor. And she offered us the partnership for the next 8 weeks. So every Friday, from next Friday at 7:30 till 9, we'll have private Zooms with her. Okay?
Amazing.
We're asking for contributions, so you have some skin in the game. So literally right now, you can register for that for only 80 Canadian dollars. Okay, that's the promo. The promo is Hugs Member 2020. The link is in the group. If you don't have it, I'll send it to you, okay? And the idea is in those 8 weeks, we'll build the leadership. We'll equip you with skill sets. We'll equip you with vocabulary, with knowledge, whatever you need to be the actual activist in the next 8 weeks that we know what's coming next. Because they're already trying to push the mandatory vaccination. They're already trying to do that. It's the next step. We know, Colin and us talked about, the mask is just a bridge to see who's going to do it anyway. plus to kind of carry us till then.
And too
like
many
the
people are
verbiage,
just
the vocabulary we're
complying.
using, you know, I wear the mask for
Stop
you, you wear a mask
complying,
for me.
people. Stop
the next thing
complying.
is, you take a vaccine for me, I take a vaccine for you.
Oh my God.
And oh no, enough is enough. We're not
Enough
going to go
is
there
enough.
at all. No. So if you would love to be a part of the leadership training and be an actual activist as well as take an active role within your local communities, please sign up for that 8 weeks course. We're going to end the
Rachel.
promo on
Hopefully
Tuesday.
next time.
So again, reach out to me. I'll give you the link if you're not sure what I'm talking about. And again, the goal is to have at least 100 locations with at least 100 people, because that's what Dr. Tenpenny said yesterday. And we recorded the Zoom we had yesterday for 1 hour. The YouTube channel, we just relaunched it again. It's HugsOverMasks on YouTube. So the video is there. She said that to build a real movement, you don't even need that many people. You just need 10% of population. That's what it takes to build a real movement. And this is our focus, is not to convince every single person.
Critical mass.
I say this again. You convince one day, you convince again, and life is too short and unpredictable. What we do is we're looking for awake people or open-minded people to receive the message, and we lock arms, and now you can run with 100.
Yep.
And that's what we're gonna focus on. Yes or yes?
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys, I love you all. Stay healthy, stay blessed, stay positive. Love over fear, facts over fear. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Vlad Sobolev, everybody. We've got one more speaker and then a couple of small announcements, and then we're going to hand the mic off to Lamont and get you guys marching for your freedom. Lucia? Everybody, warm welcome for Lucia.
Oh, that's all right. I'm going to bike.
Thank you, Kelly.
I can take photos.
I want to acknowledge the bravery of our children. I'm just so moved.
Aww.
And I'm gonna give myself permission to be emotional. My name is Lucia Almeida, and I'm an artist and a musician. And I had a very full life that was taken from me. All of my shows completely canceled until September.
So sad. Well,
And I'm here primarily to tell you about my little sister, who is her story is a perfect example of what our medical system has become.
oh my God.
And I want to propose the idea that our old normal, there was a lot wrong with our old normal. There was a lot of normalization that just was absolutely wrong. And I want to acknowledge that I'm nervous, and I want to acknowledge the emotional intelligence of not only our children, but the men I see here.
Yes.
And I think I also have a background in psychotherapy and transpersonal psychotherapy, and what that means, transpersonal meaning when you heal yourself, when you share your stories, you have an effect on all of us because we're all connected.
Amazing.
And we can see that through the core of every religion. And so I'm going to tell you my sister's story, but I'll tell you my story first. And I've heard a similar story from many people here. And it's, I had what I call my bio-spiritual awakening in my early 20s when I got very sick. And it was through that I learned the importance of what we put into our bodies. And when I was sick and went to my doctor and tried to talk to them about nutrition, she actually said to me, "We're not going to talk about that because I didn't learn that in medical school."
Wow. Straight
Now,
up.
I was
Straight
a
up.
20-year-old or 25-year-old, so I
Wow.
didn't say anything. Now I would say, what do you think science stops after you graduate?
Wow. Nice.
And what I discovered was that a lot of our very nature has been demonized, right?
well,
So
now more than
I was
ever.
a cannabis activist for many years. I supplied cannabis medicine to cancer patients who needed them.
Amazing.
And I got really angry because I looked into the whole cancer epidemic, right? 1 in 2 men will get cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 2 women will get cancer in their lifetime.
So crazy.
And I read a book called Cancergate by Dr. Samuel Epstein. And what sticks out for me in that, and this speaks to the corporate absolute tyranny that's been going on for decades.
For sure.
And we can trace it back all the way to the 1920s with the Rockefellers establishing the American Medical Association, which is still a private organization.
Wow.
And
and they're spraying us.
what I did was I forced my doctor to look at the issue, and this is what I want to encourage you, and we've heard that from many people here, is to put yourself out there and talk to people, and your doctor is a really good person to talk to. And the way I forced my doctor to look at the issue is I said to him, you know, I've dealt with depression all my life. And I wrote him a 17-page letter on cannabis medicine.
Oh, wow.
And I told him about how my sister's body has been completely wrecked by modern medicine. Elizabeth had her first epileptic seizure 20 minutes after her first vaccines.
Oh my God.
From then on, I've heard this story many times, that she is not the only one. There's millions out there. People don't understand that a minority can be millions. That's what they don't understand. And
yeah, a minority can be millions.
And I forced him to look at the issue by framing it that way. And, you know, he was very kind and very gracious with me and accepted my anger, and I so appreciate that. And what I found in the book I was telling you about by Dr. Epstein that forced me to look at the issue and forced me to do the hard work of talking to my doctor. I was not looking forward to it.
We are at Queen's Park at the Freedom
was
Rally,
that
guys.
There is a huge chemical company called the Imperial Chemical Company, and Dr. Epstein, who has dedicated his life to identifying carcinogenics, went to that company and said, you're using this chemical in everything from toilet paper to fertilizer, and it's carcinogenic. And here's something that costs less and will work for you. And they refused.
Wow.
And why did they refuse? Because when he looked into it, they also owned pharmaceutical companies where their main source of income was chemotherapy drugs.
Wow.
And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with
cartel,
a system that has been corrupt for many, many years. So I propose we make our own new normal.
Yes.
That respects natural medicine, which was here way before allopathic medicine. Cannabis is a wonderful example of the kind of brainwashing that can happen, right? Here's a plant that our bodies are actually programmed to receive. We have an endocannabinoid receptor system that receives cannabinoids that actually regulate every function in the body. Mother's milk actually produces the same sort of THC cannabinoid to soothe the baby and make it hungry. And it was in the pharmacopoeia before the 1930s and was prescribed from everything from colic to headache to cancer, and it was stolen from us. And Terence McKenna said it really well when he said, the idea of a plant being illegal and kept from humanity is just absolutely obnoxious, right? Exactly.
He usually comes.
So the reason I brought that up was because in 1948 they did a study with epilepsy with cannabis, and they had an 85% success rate, and it was buried. So my little sister's life could have been completely different. And now my little sister is 45 years old. When she was a teenager, she was a big, tall, lanky teenager. She was mentally disabled from oxygen being deprived to her brain because of the seizures. But she loved to swim and play pool and dance. And she was brought up by parents who thought they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, which is following medical advice. And they came from that generation. And Elizabeth was not supported in her independence. And instead of dealing with the situation and respecting her needs, she was put on more drugs. And she was put on a drug called clozapine. And clozapine's been around since the 50s. And basically what it is it's a parasympathetic nerve inhibitor. So basically it just kind of dulls the person. And when she was in her late 20s, she was a CAMH, and they would not let her out without giving her this terrible, terrible drug. And it's like watching a loved one be slowly poisoned to death. And when her, the parasympathetic nerves are basically, you know, all your small muscles of your involuntary systems in your body, like your intestines and your heart and your lungs and your esophagus to swallow food. And I begged my mother to take her off of this, because soon after taking this drug, she could not lift her neck and barely walk. Now, my first question is, if she was mentally disabled, do you think they would allow these side effects to be okay? I don't think so. The normalization of these insane side effects. How is it that they can approve a drug for Hodgkin's lymphoma, but the side effect is leukemia? How is that even allowed? How is that normal? It's not normal, it's shameful. And so eventually, of course, her intestines gave out, and then she started getting lung infections, and then she couldn't swallow. And when I found a death warning by intestinal obstruction on Health Canada and showed it to my mother and had it translated into her language, and she brought it to her doctor, what did they do? They follow what Health Canada tells you to do to treat the symptom. So it's an on-ending, never-ending side effect after side effect being treated without getting to the heart of the problem. And so now Elizabeth, her esophagus started going, and so now her life is being fed through a tube in her stomach and basically bedridden for the rest of her life. She's been in ICU for 3 months without visitors. She's got the mindset of about a 7-year-old, so I don't even know if she understands why her family can't be with her. So but what I love about Elizabeth is that she's amazing. We have a very special connection, and I can enter this place where we lock eyes, and she just beams love at me. And it's just a private, it's a powerful message to me that no matter your circumstances, you can pick, you can choose to be happy. And that was a really valuable lesson to me. And what I think has been amazing here at this protest is the way that is the acknowledgement of that. Well, first of all, the idea of mothers against distance is an important one, because the archetype of mother and child, what is more sacred than that? What I learned in my 20s is that divinity is not up there. Divinity lives right here. The fact that we can get the nutrients we need from the earth and clean water, all of that is divine. And that is what is being demonized, and that is what this war is about. And so I encourage you to share your stories. I encourage you to talk to your doctors. And I want to thank all of you for doing your duty here, which is showing up. This right here is a spiritual process, because you are showing up, and it's going to take all of us. And I want to thank you for inspiring me to put my best foot forward. And I invite you to do the same, and I'm ready to continue to do this with you. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we got a couple of little announcements, and then we're going to have Lamont come up here. First one, Krishna, please. And we want to read those people. I know everybody's in a rush to get on that march, so we're going to hurry it up.
Okay, hi. Very brief. It takes a community, right? Well, we can support each other through our own method of exchanges. A barter network is being started, and I invite each person to come who would be interested, come and join me at the table here. And we're forming a network of ways for people to exchange goods and services between us. We don't have to use banks all the time. We don't have to use corporations. We can choose our own way of interacting as a society. Freedom! Thank you.
And I'd like to let everybody know that Paul's got some really awesome bumper stickers. If anybody's interested in them, you can just seek him out. He's got these. He's right there. Come on over here.
Hey everyone. My friend was holding the phone.
Bumper stickers, or you can put them on the window of your car.
Yeah, look at this.
My car decked out now. This one's pretty direct. COVID equals hoax. So if you don't want to be that direct, I have the contact of this lovely girl who's totally on board with all of us, and you can get her to make anything you want to say. So I might even get another one that says media lies or whatever you want.
Amazing.
And then on the back of my car, the back windshield, I have something that says scam-demic.
Nice.
With the HugsOverMasks logo, the mask with the cross through it.
Amazing.
And then HugsOverMasks.ca.
Amazing.
So right there, when people are looking at it, they can go to that website.
Amazing.
Right? And that's a kind of street level activism.
Yeah.
But it's,
Woo!
you know, like, congratulations to all of us, what we're doing behind the scenes and online and everything. This is the type of stuff that won't go unnoticed. Everywhere you go, whether it's work, whether it's a gas station, it's going to be seen. And basically, the reason people think the way they think now is because they hear mainstream media constantly, right? So if we can combat that, right, and make it and overpower mainstream media and have people see that, then they won't be afraid to speak up. They'll realize that they're not the only ones that are thinking the same thing, right? So anyway, I got these stickers. They're $10. I'm not making a penny. It goes straight to the lady that's making them. You can come up to me, or get a hold of me somehow. My name is Paul Erwin, ERWIN on Facebook. I don't know how much longer that'll last. But yeah, get a hold of me, and yeah, I can pass you on to her or whatever.
Amazing, good, beautiful.
I got some here for sale too. Thank you.
And you just have to be confident.
Yeah.
You can't say, there's no selling on the grounds, people, just so you know, just to be clear, there's no, we're not allowed to sell on the grounds. With that, just before I'm going to have the famous Lamont come up here, I'd like to make a little announcement. Rebel Media has been supporting us since day one. David Menzies is an amazing, absolutely amazing person. He's a friend and an advocate, and Queen's Park has just banned him from coming here.
No!
We're asking everybody here to write letters demanding to drop that ban immediately.
That's
Next
right.
week, I vow that we're going to have an interview with David Menzies and Rebel News right here, right now, with me, and they're not going to stop it. They're not going to stop him from coming here. They're not going to ban anybody. This is our park. This is our event.
That's right.
And we're not going to be silenced. We're not going to be censored.
That's right.
And yeah, the revolution will be televised.
Woo!
So without further ado, the one, the only Lamont Daigle.
Yeah, take a picture.
Hey, thanks a lot. You guys are amazing. Zoe, you are my proudest supporter. Thank you so much for being a part
So
of this.
this is something that was created to give to businesses.
I'm going to slow this down for a minute because
to make it
every
less
time
threatening when people
for the
walk
last
in.
15 weeks that I've been here, I'm always the last guy that gets on here, and then we get going on the march, right? And while I love
This is to
all
give
the speakers and the subjects
This
that we're
is
addressing
what
here,
businesses should post.
maybe things could be a little bit better
We will
organized.
assume you have a medical condition.
Does anybody understand what time this whole thing starts? Is it 12 o'clock? It's not 1 o'clock or 1:30, people. Thank you so much. I understand sometimes you need to take the TTC and they're not always on time. So the thing is this, guys, we've been coming here at 11 o'clock every weekend, every Saturday since the beginning of this. And we need you to be just as loyal to this, even though some of you are going to your work now and you're ending the lockdown your way, and we always understand this. But the only way we're going to get ahead here is that if we have loyalty and cohesion in the message and the group with our community. Does everybody hear what I have to say? Yes or yes or definitely yes.
Yes.
All right.
Hi, beautiful.
So one of these organizational things, my wonderful people, is this. I have been a part of the line with this group since the beginning. I have been with the Celebration of Freedom and Rights and Free North Patriots. However, there is one group that I like to affiliate myself a little bit more with. Why? Because they are putting their money where their mouth is, and they are supporting the line. Because quite frankly, the message is simple. The people, the government, these wonderful police, however, have crossed the line, and we're drawing the line! Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. So let us stay strong on this, especially because of why Bill 195.
That's right.
Okay? When we go on that march today, I will be chanting this. Why Bill 195?
Why Bill 195?
I can't remember. Because you know why? It's our body, it's our choice. That's why!
Yeah.
Okay? End this lockdown ridiculous emergency order. There is no emergency!
That's right.
Does anybody see people dying in the street right now?
No.
No! Do you see businesses failing?
Yes.
Why is that? Right, all of the above. And here we are talking about masks. And now while I agree with the message of masks, because it is a form of control in every way, there's such a big subject there that sometimes we lose the message. Just a little bit. And this gum is becoming really annoying to me, I apologize. It's to keep me, you know, a little bit moist while I announce these things because my voice gets a little bit loud. So anyways, thelinecanada.com. Does anybody know that website? Thelinecanada.com.
Yes.
Right. You go on there. You lend your support by joining. We are giving you free t-shirts for the attendees at these protests, these celebrations, medium or large. Go get yourself a t-shirt. And then I invite you to go on thelinecanada.com and join. Put your information forward. And you will be protected. Regardless of the group you belong to, the line will always support you and has always been there for you in every province.
Woo!
Align yourself with those people. If you need to join any of these provinces, reach out to your friends and say, please reach out to Lamont. I am the co-lead for Toronto, and I am the person putting myself out there right now on Facebook to say that I am employed by the line, by my heart, not by money right now. Aho.
Ahome.
Now, like I said, free t-shirt, diddly-doop. Okay.
I'll get one
Also,
too.
to support us, when you go on theline.com, there's also a buy button for flags, banners, stickers.
Awesome.
If you wish to support us, like I said, here's a free t-shirt. We're saying, hey, maybe you could go and tell your friends to go.
Hey, beautiful. Do you still have any mediums? Mediums? No more. Okay, next time. Next time. Awesome. This is like grassroots activism right here, everyone. So awesome.
As a group, our little table here and some of the DJ equipment up to these guys.
They don't have any more
mediums. Packed up
mediums.
by around 3:30. We're a little bit behind today.
You can get the buttons
because
there, yeah.
some people show up a little bit late, and that's okay. But I will be here from 11 o'clock in the morning on, and I will start these meetings at 12 p.m. noon. Does everybody understand what I have to say?
Okay.
I don't care what we're doing. We're going to be here starting to have these chats at 12 o'clock on Saturdays. So be here if you want to start hearing and you don't want to miss out. As polite patriots, I want you to have fun and enjoy. Organizationally, like I said, we're going to have to wrap up some of this stuff. But if you guys want to hang out and network and have a good time in Canadian parks, hang out and have a good time. Okay? A lot of people need to understand. Also, I need some gentle soul that when I'm carrying that speaker on my skateboard today because I have a hole in my foot because I saved a dog yesterday from dying, I would like somebody to help me carry that speaker while I'm still going to march for you, even though I can't even walk. Aho!
Wow.
Now hold on, I might have missed one more thing. That's about it. Yeah. Oh, one simple little thing. You know how everybody's complaining right now about the fact that their friends aren't backing them up and their families don't understand, their jobs are letting them go, and everybody's like, ew, the maskers, they're all the evil people. No. These people wearing the masks are doing that because they're fearful. Stop judging them as much as you don't want them to judge you. Amen.
That's true.
When they counter you, you say, you know what? I know the law. Leave me alone. I'm going to get this done, and then I'm out of here. You can go and yell at somebody else for being hateful. It's not your fault. Woo! I want to remind you of one thing. The people that are here right now, do you see any of you putting a mask on right now? Anybody?
Nope.
Nico, would you put a mask on? If somebody offered you a vaccine, would you do it? No. If you wanted to, where's Zoe? Where's Zoe? Zoe, if somebody offered you a microchip, would you do it? Right. They're not taking us, but those people out there might actually come over to our camp. So the thing is this, be patient. Believe in your God that brings you here today to back up your people and your family, because they don't know any better. Just like Jesus Christ happened to say, they know not what they do.
That's right.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
So just keep going. One person every day will forward this whole movement, people. Those people out there will never tie me down for a vaccination. I would die before that happened. I would die for you. Oh! So let's do this march, shall we? Let's do it.
All right, everyone. So
and pray.
we're gonna be starting our
pray for the people.
March for Freedom.
I love you.
Love you too, buddy. Okay, I may do another live stream from the march. Okay.
I just want to say,
guys in a bit.
I have a